Today on Discovering Magnolia, Texas, we are here at Magnolia Bee and Supply. Let's go in and see what they're all about. Andy, thank you so much for having us out here today.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. I am super interested to learn all about your beekeeping business. This isn't your primary job. It is not. But let's go back into a little bit of your history, because you live here in Magnolia.
We do.
So have you always lived here, or?
I've not. Grew up in Kingwood, so just east of here, just north of Humble. And then my wife and I moved out here. It's a tough question. It's almost like how long have you been married?
Yeah.
Right? Probably every bit of 27 years, 25,
wow.
Somewhere right in there.
And when did you start getting into the beekeeping business?
We got into bees about 10 years ago. It was an interesting opportunity to put bees on some property that we have in East Texas to lower our property tax. And from there, it just became this very interesting and curious, continuous learning opportunity. And it's just kind of evolved over those years of being part of the bee clubs, starting bee clubs, having my own hives, tending to those, raising queens, making splits, and just all kinds of things bee related. And then going to other small businesses around the state that were selling bees and doing the same thing. It just became, I think that's something I want to do.
Yeah.
And so, COVID comes and the world's a different place. And February 22, we opened the store here in Magnolia, right here where we are today.
And we'll talk more about the store, but outside of the store, you really seem to be involved in a lot of the educational and even educating others when it comes to beekeeping. And I know that when we were talking prior to starting the interview, you were talking about some of the bee clubs and stuff like that. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about that.
So the bee clubs are fun. They're a great way for people that have the same interest to come together and really talk about bees. There's several clubs here in the immediate area. So one of the larger clubs is the Montgomery County Beekeepers Association up in Conroe. And then here in Magnolia, we have the Magnolia Swarm. And then just south of us, there is the Northwest Beekeepers, so down in Jersey Village. So
yeah.
You've got kind of some options for being able to make a bee meeting and make several bee meetings so that you can keep learning and experimenting with bees with other people.
So it's not just you that is involved with the business, right? So your wife is involved, correct?
Is. So I'm the beekeeper. She is the queen bee, there's no question. But she helps, if I can't be at the store some days, she comes in and helps with that. She helps look after the Facebook page and just kind of keep tabs on things that I probably should be doing or need to be doing or need to be aware of. So
if somebody is interested, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but if they're interested in getting into beekeeping, I mean, my biggest thing would be, where do I start? I guess I'd probably start by coming in here and talking to you guys, right?
If you find us, absolutely. Come in here and sit down. We're here in the evenings. And I love nothing more than to talk about bees for however many hours you want to do that.
Yeah.
But really, there's a couple of things. Make sure you're not allergic to bees, because that just won't be a fun experience.
I would imagine not.
All the way through. But when people come in and ask that question, there's 3 answers. Join a bee club, join a bee club, join a bee club, right? Because that's going to be where most of the knowledge comes from. And
I can imagine about the environment playing such a role in how you manage your hives, for sure. What's going on, not just on your property, but around your property. And probably some of the challenges that, Magnolia beekeepers are going to start seeing is with the growth comes clearing of land. Mm-hmm. And now you've got those challenges with the bees and where they're going out and foraging, right?
Right, yes, that is a huge challenge. The plants aren't growing any faster. They're not growing faster than the houses are, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
But fortunately, we still have a lot of flora out in this area. We still have a lot of fence lines.
Yeah.
And one of the things you learn as becoming a beekeeper, at least for me, was I'm now uberly interested in the weeds, right, that grow. Because before it would be like, oh, well, that's a weed, it's gotta go. Well, wait a minute, does it have value for the bee? Because we have those now, right? So you become much more curious and much more aware of the plants that are growing around you.
Okay, so aside from the educational piece that they can come in here and chat with you guys about, you also have a lot of products that you sell here in your store. So let's talk about some of those. I see you supply some of your own honey, right?
We do. We harvest our own honey. We'll be doing that again here in July. We sell kits, we sell individual pieces, parts, we sell bottling equipment, we sell extracting equipment. Pretty much if you have a need as a beekeeper, we have or can very quickly source your need.
And you also have, by the way, some very cute bee decor.
We do. I have a lot of hobbies. Beekeeping happens to be one of the biggest ones. We've also experimented with making some very specific bee-themed clothing, shirts, just have slogans on them.
So if somebody wants to come in here and talk to you in person, where can they find you?
We are located at 1010 Magnolia Boulevard in Magnolia, Texas, 77355. And then you can find us again online at Magnolia Bee and Supply, and in Facebook, Magnolia Bee and Supply, and Instagram is the same.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Discovering Magnolia, Texas. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
This Community Small Business Spotlight is brought to you by Erica Stietenroth, your Magnolia Realtor, and was produced and edited by Jaychay Productions.